Alright, well, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be putting in a new tube. As you can see, I'm going to be putting in a new tube. And got my tire levers here to help me with sort of get the tire back on. But also, like I mentioned before, these are the best tire levers to use to get the tire off and on. And they do come in two. You know, they're metal, so I tell you now, these never break, you never have to replace them, and they're excellent. So you use them to get the tire off this way, and then sometimes you can even use it to get the tire on that way. So you know, you just put the other side through the tire like this, and then you can just like push it right on like that. So really excellent tire levers. Like I said, you can pick these up at your local bicycle shop, or you can order them online yourself through Park Tool or that. So, and we got a smart pump here too. So now we are gonna mention, like I said, well, it says we don't want to put the tube in with no air, because like I said, this is a brand new tube. So we do not want to put it in like that, because sometimes it might end up getting like twisted like that, and that would not be good. So it might end up, you know, like getting like twisted like this. And once you fill it up with air, pop. And I tell you now, you do not want to hear an inner tube pop. I've had an inner tube pop in my ear, and I tell you now, it does not feel too good. So that's why we want to fill this up a little bit with air here. So we're gonna turn my pump on, and then we're gonna take this part and just put it right in, and then we'll fill it up a little bit. Now that we got the tube filled up with air, a little bit of air, not too much. Like I mentioned, you want to put the valve part in first. So you can see it right here. You want to put the valve in first. Then you can continue putting the tube into the other side. And like I said, it's your choice if you want to take the whole tire around, put the tube in. But I just find it to be easier to put this, to have one side of the tire off like that, then put the tube in. Just makes it easier. And I know you guys probably have seen like a bunch of these like on YouTube and all that. But as you can see, mine have forever spokes, so they don't have the regular spokes like on a regular bike. And now that we got this on, now we can put the bike back. Now we can put the other side of the tire back on. So I'm gonna just lay this down, and like I said, once you get to the other part of the, once you get like to 80% of the bead, you might have to use like some of your tire levers there to help you out. So that's why I said it's always good to have, you know, these on hand. Especially if you have forever spokes like me, because having forever spokes can be like a really tricky one, because when it comes to the plastic ones, you know, you got no spokes to put the plastic ones onto, so that's why I always recommend, you know, that's why I always recommend these here, where you can just like put it in and then take it out like this, like that. Then like I said, you know, like then it'll be like the other way around here. So like if you wanted to use it like to put like your tire in, you just flip it over, then you know, do that there. So like that. So really helpful those are. And like I mentioned, once you get to your 80% of your bead, it can get a little bit more tougher. Especially when you have tennis armor. Like I have tire armor in this tire, and it's a huge pain to put on once you get to 80% of the bead there on. So once you have just 80% of the bead left, it's a huge pain to put on. So that's why I'm happy I had one of these to, you know, help me like get it on there. So, and now it seems like I'm getting to that point. Like I mentioned, just do that. Like I just mentioned that, just do that. You know, have this up, then boom. So, really helpful these are. See, like I said, I just used these to get the remaining tire on. So now the tire is fully on. And like I said, I managed to use the other side of this. So I used the other side of this to, you know, get it back on and boop. So these are very helpful to get your tire on and off. So this side's to put like to get them off. You know, you just put it right underneath, and you know you do this. See how? Look how easy that is. Look how easy that is. Then like I said, if you want to put the, you know, tire back on, you know, you just like slip it under and boom. See? Helpful. Super helpful those are. Like I said, never break, never have to replace. These are the only tires that you'll ever need in your life. So, and like I said, now that we got the tire back on, we can fill it up with a little bit more air, and then we can put it back on. So I'm going to fill it up with more air, and I'll be back once I'm ready to put it back on. Well, we got the new tire on. As you can see, it's at, you know, 12 psi. So we got a little bit of air into there. Then once we put this back on, we'll fill this all the way back up. So let's do that. So we got the tire back on, and you know, use the socket to tighten up the nuts there on both sides. So just use a socket, which is what I do, and don't, you know, like make sure that they're tight, not like just a little bit tight, because you know you don't want these coming off when you're riding. And now for my favorite part, as you can see before, we're filling up the tire of air. So there you go. As you just saw, I did not push no buttons. It's automatic shut off. So we got that done. And like I mentioned, there's not really hardly no tools needed to do a flat yourself. I needed, you know, tire levers. If you have a quick release, you don't need a, you know, socket there, but I'll show you my tools of what I use afterwards. So yeah, so let me just show you here. So so like I told you, you know, you got a socket here, so you know you can easily get things, you know, on and off there. So if you have a quick release, you don't need this. You got your pump there, which obviously, as you see, it does a great job of auto shut off. And the best in parts part, another one of my favorite tools, the Park 2.0 tire levers. Now I love these. Like I said, you use this side to get the tire off, and you use this side to put it in, and then boom. No, so this side, and then it goes boom. So you just like that. So, like I said, pick these up at your local bicycle shop, like I did, or you go to the, you know, Park Tours website and get them directly, or go to another online retailer and get them yourself. But yeah, those are only 4 or 3, well, 2 because those are up here, so only 3 or 2 tools needed to do a flat. And that is how you change a flat on a juiced Hyper Scrambler 2.